And it doesn't bounce, just go ricocheting off a mile like it might happen with Champion or Star. It's a dead hit, so you don't get these big caroms and ricochets as much as you would with the other plastic. Part of that flexibility is really helpful when the weather gets cold. It maintains its flexibility even at freezing temperatures, whereas our other plastics would get very stiff and be very difficult to grip. I really wouldn't want to play with anything else in the cold. We measure these things when the temperature got down to 35 degrees, and the flexibility was still, would have passed the PDGA's flex standards, which are measured at 77 degrees. And on the other end of the scale, a lot of people are worried about how floppy or flexy these things would be in hotter weather, and it really doesn't get much more flexy as the weather goes up to 110 degrees is what we measured, and we measured Champion against G-Star at 110 degrees. And while Champion starts much more firm at 77 or colder or whatever it is, starts much firmer when it gets colder, it gets more flexible more quickly than G-Star does. G-Star has a fairly flat curve for flexibility, such that even if it's 110 degrees out, it's still not floppy. It's soft and flexy, but it's not floppy. It's not like Gummy Champion or anything like that. It never gets that soft. We plan on using G-Star for every disc in our lineup, and probably some discontinued discs too, because we think it's, personally, I think it's our best blend of plastic. And I happen to like a little bit softer and grippier discs, and I like durable discs, and I like pretty discs too, and the G-Star has it all.
Disc golf is in the air. Join the excitement at PDGA.com.
Eco Star Destroyer.
And welcome back, sports fans, to the 17th tee here at Blue Lake. Great afternoon for disc golf. Thank you for joining us from around the globe. Matt Peckham, Jonathan Baldwin, Kevin McCoy, George Smith, powerhouse foursome here in the second card of our men's Pro Masters, enjoying some of the delicious architecture here on the course. 17th hole measures 950 feet from tee to pin. George Smith will take to the pad first. There's a couple of interesting points. This used to be a huge spoil area where road construction for Marine Road was left after and during its construction, just covered by loads and loads and loads of fresh Oregon soil. And that became the balance of the fairway to 17. Straight is great. Smith awfully close over there on the left. There is OB over there. Can't tell if he made it or not. Looks like he checked up safe, but again, out of bounds, about 50 feet off of the viewer's access off to the right. Again, take a little bit off. And Matt's doesn't know if he can get that to come back or not. He's okay with that. The middle third of number 17 is just hell to pay. Pachinko machine lies in wait for the approach shots. Our ladies were teeing up to the trees in a big roundhouse hyzer for the right-hander. Jonathan Baldwin will want to just sail it straight. The work will be done on the second and third shots here. And that does not appear to have made it back towards the red stake line. As we mentioned, taking a little bit off the tee shot, this is a par 5, the third of 3. He's asking for it to flip. And that is going to fall left, as did Smith and Peckham. So the difficulty is apparent here on the tee, tucked back here in the immense trees along Marine Drive. As we mentioned, the middle third of number 17 will pose our biggest challenge to the players. We watched our ladies on Tuesday having some different deductions used for their shots. We watched Pierce with a monster around the outside approach, and successfully, but nonetheless, the last 150 to 250 feet is all obstacles. I want to thank our sponsors for this broadcast, our third day of the PDGA World Disc Golf Championships presented by Keen Footwear. Dynamic discs, a big part of every Planet broadcast. And UB Disc Golf, providing some of our prizes for today's viewers. Don't know if you had a chance to look at some of the analytics off the Google technical site that will audit the Disc Golf Planet activity. Those of you watching are producing numbers in the tens of thousands as far as unique views. And before the week's over, we hope to reach over 1 million minutes of disc golf, live disc golf. And we see the Baldwin lie. It's not out of bounds, but it is in the troubled footing category, if you will. Baldwin, very limited access, but he's got a small hole about 5 feet in diameter and height to penetrate into the middle section of the hole. Baldwin not unfamiliar with the layout here, but would much rather be about 30 feet to his left. I'm going to go over and check out the Smith and Peckham lies as well. McCoy also flirted with the left edge, but I think the stakes are well into the second cut rough. Hey, brother. How you doing, bro? So good to see you. McCoy has just hinted to the fact he has a small window off the left side for access. Smith also faded a little bit left. But it looks like the only option will be a pitch out. Baldwin caught some trees early on the right, didn't get quite as far as he'd like to, but again, a par 5. Looks like Jonathan may have reached the 400-foot mark on distance from the tee after a second shot. Now McCoy has stopped just shy of the Schul. Start to see that very small window that he has to look through. Smith a little further up in yellow. Peckham with the left-hander is going to be even further up. He just didn't pitch back left in front of this huge oak tree. Excuse me, that's not an oak. That is a big elm tree. So Distances may be short, but it's like you got to throw through a wall of vegetation. Peckham's going to take a chance to look. He doesn't have much, but the lefty, a little bit more of an advantage. Off to the right of Peckham's tee shot is the women's tee used Tuesday. Got just lucky enough to be alongside Elaine King. Elaine, perennial champion, Hall of Famer. Welcome.
Hi, John. Great to be here.
You've got some favorites in the group. I see you following Matt's camp.
Oh, but it's so hard because, you know, Matt's my homie, but Kevin McCoy has been my doubles partner where we won a world championship in doubles together.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we've got John, we've got Fred. I mean, all nice guys. It's hard to know who to root for. Maybe all of them.
That's just your style. Elaine's having some great success too, playing with the ladies. I saw your name moving up steadily. That's your style, Elaine. How do you feel? How's your comfort level in Portland?
I think you were looking at last year's results. I've been moving steadily downwards, but hopefully my round this morning has put me up a group, I'm hoping.
Sweet. Well, experience speaks so clearly. Elaine King joining us here on the fairway of 17. Thank you, Elaine. Best of luck through the week.
Thank you, John.
See you tonight. McCoy's loaded now in his second shot. Again, not out of bounds. Oh, he's hit the gap perfectly. Whew, wow. Actually throwing up on the tails of the third card. So tiny. Smith will have a drastically different challenge as a right-hander as opposed to the Peckham lie. They're on identical line, but as you see now, Smith will have to come out very stern. Too much turnover is not the worst thing that could happen here as the access opens up on the right. Anything on the left half between us and the pin is in a very tight tangent of trouble. So the further right, the better. Smith careful to stay within the allowance of the rules for establishing footing. You have to make a decision, first of all, how far you want to go. Second, get it through that window. It's just about 30, 40 feet in front of him, and the space opens up vastly. And again, great choice to use the right half. He's just sad because it didn't look pretty, but it went where he needed to go. Great shot by Smith. Now again, Peckham with the longest drive. The lefty powered it through all of that junk in front of the tree, but he's got himself in a little bit of a log pile. And the allowance to clear that space underneath where the foot will be placed. Nothing alive is being displaced. 30 centimeters in a three-sided space behind the mark is what is allowable. It's the forward foot to remain in contact with that triangular 30 centimeter sided space. And you're good. McCoy and Smith both concurring. Don't grab that milkweed. Going back to some old champion plastic there. Looks like a turnover Rancho rock. He's got no obstruction for his arm. It's just footing that will propose the challenge. It's awfully tight. Well, I'm telling you, they need to paint a picture of that one because that went exactly towards the pin, hugging the left side tangent the whole way. Very risky, but that's Matt's style of play. Straight up and straight in. We'll see our second group take on to the remainder of the fairway on 17, and then our cameras will stay in position to allow our top Masters card to come through. It's been a great day of disc golf here. Jonathan Baldwin now discovering his second shot result, and on this par 5, looks like he'll have no choice but to go down the middle. Just too high of an obstacle in front of him with these pines to get up and over and around. Visualizing the shot. Stay within your game. Can't win a tournament in one throw unless it's the last one. Nice gapper by Baldwin. So he'll be laying 3. He'll have about 80 feet left. It's just a guess. I'm still 300 back from the shot, but he'll be able to collect that. Again, a tremendous second by Peckham. We'll leave him with some interesting space to throw into. And now our lead Masters card will take to the 17th tee. Barry Schultz will take to the pad first. That birdie on 15, allowing this to be so. Patrick Brown with the only bogey on 60. It's par 5, 950 foot, number 17. Schultz will either throw past the tree that our camera is located next to, where our viewers are basically standing. About 375 to reach the camera. It's coming right at the George Smith position, virtually the same spot. So right behind the huge tree. You'll have that same challenge as Smith, just looks like a little less window to deal with. Climo sizing it up. There's a lot of room for a big scorching low shot. Skip value is high once you reach this spot where our cameras are. That's just what he's done. Right down the gut, coming right out the lens, and he'll skip up a little further and into the only safe spot between Smith and Peckham's lie that we just saw previously. So, bit of a lucky skip there. We call it lucky because maybe simply fortuitous. Jay Reading. Ideal demand for his style of flight. Asking it to flex back. Oh, and it caught that little guardian on the right edge. And that will resemble a wall for Reading. His second shot, Patrick Brown, hopefully has let some of the dust settle after disappointment on 16, 15, and 14. That's 3 OBs in a row. If this flexes back. Oh boy, and there's another break for Brown as he pops through that ground cover at the base of the tree and will come out on the positive side. These delicious views coming to you from Portland, Oregon. The state with the flag with 2 sides. A couple couple more interesting facts maybe you'd enjoy at home. One in particular I was moved by. Portland is the home of the world's largest nude bike ride. And the state of Oregon and the provinces locally establishing the laws to protect the event. It's an established display of artistic activity, and therefore the laws protect that here in America. Freedom of speech and the artist's will. So imagine 13,000 people on bicycles, but no clothes. All right, enough of that visual. Good luck next year as well. And one other thing is we see some of the landscape here on 17. Originally the town of Portland, after it was named. The original settlers, developers of the town came in and clear-cut what is now downtown. The massive pines, firs of all types, just thousands of trees. They just came in and cut them all down to make way for development. So you got these 1.5 and 2 foot tall stumps, and then this huge rains came in for days and days and just flooded the whole area. So with standing water, folks, to get around and get to and from their places of need, just basically hopped from stump to stump, and developing and yielding to the nickname originally of Stumptown, right here in Portland, Oregon. Nearby Eugene, the first city in America to have one-way streets. So we don't know if a rich aunt and uncle owned the block and said, no, you can't come down here, but another interesting fact here about our host in town. Jay Reading now from an inverted backhand, shooting 2. It's going to be hard to get a lot of distance out of this. Keep it from going left.
Yeah. Nice, Jay.
Oh, that's pretty. I mean, it's not easy at all to get that much velocity from an inverted stance, and Jay Reading, with his experience, has punched it through the midsection of the fairway, so kudos. Schultz is within a foot of the spot where Smith threw from on the previous card. He'll be looking through the same window. He knows it's a par 5. The option is a simple pitch to the right, or very difficult forced shot through the small gap left of the huge trees. 5 trunks amass the base of this huge elm tree.
Football. He stepped on his disc. Holy, stepped on it. Did you feel it? Yeah, your disc flipped up like that. You can tell by the dirt.
Yeah, I can hear the Climo comment that it was a Schultz footfall.
They went back to the same spot. Didn't move.
So that is left for the rethrow with the warning. There's another roller by Schultz, starting to hug left. That could make its way into the trouble.
I'm over there where he's at.
Now we have the brown result off to the right half of the fairway on the right edge, in the shade, as we said, crawled through this bit of organic mumbo jumbo at the base of the tree.
Okay.
Starting to hear some fairly quick responses between our players. Brown will deal with some interrupted space behind him for the take back, but other than that, fairly routine setup. Something for our viewers to avoid misplacing or displacing your marker disc. Just put your foot on it, do your duties to clean up the placement area, and then redress. So Patrick Brown from about 475 out on the par 5 second shot. And Brown, with an errant skip, early release, just buried himself on the left trouble. So he'll have some kind of a hook sidearm roller to get out of that mess. Climo will take a look. He's about 20 feet to the right of his placement and out in front a little bit. Nothing done here at all by looking. Second shot on the par 5. He's going high around 1, 2, 3, 4 of the trees, and he's found it all the way back into the fairway. So laying 2 just past the 3/4 mark of the distance of the hole. Impressive. Redding's feeling awfully good about his shot. It's already been 5 minutes since he released, and he had a great result right down the middle of the fairway, as did Schultz. Take no time to decide on the shot, but that foot fault, result of his rethrow, not nearly as good as the first. The noise of Marine Drive in the backdrop. Reading is yellow, just to our right of Brown.
Yeah, I thought it was me.
So we'll have Reading, Brown, Schultz, and Climo as the order. This is Jay's third shot. Pin tucked hard into the left. It's about 195 to 210 to get to pin high. And then about 60 feet to the left of our viewer's last access down there. It's got a downsloped area to release from. Very soft ground, dusty, bramble everywhere. Oh boy, left it tight left. My goodness, that could have snuck through, but it's awfully hard. I think we can tell when we get a little closer, you'll see how thick that wall is on the left. He may not have anything but a pitch out from there. Brown from deep in the rough left. This will be his third shot. Sarah on the drag bag for Patrick. It's about the only thing he's got is a slam dunk sidearm roller. Just about everywhere you see. Okay. That will continue his journey towards the pin anyway. Not many options there on the left, as we mentioned. Now the Schultz roller, the second shot anyway, his orientation was never really going to fold out to the right, so he's also short-sighted himself. He'll have the same line as Reading. Number 17 has a single pin placement with 2 tees. Barely inside 200 feet for the total distance for Schultz. To go to the straddled backhands, still inverted. Got to concentrate on not moving your head too early on this or it'll go left. Oh boy. Got a little branch management going on there. It'll be lane 3. Not a difficult up and in there. He got himself to within 100 feet of reach. Climo, that same lemon lime he's been working to this back 9. Tremendous approach shot. If we have a chance to look back after this shot, take a look back to where he's throwing from. Fairly routine approach. It's just sometimes it just doesn't work out this good. From about 150. He's probably going to ask it to skip when it hits the ground. Cut in left. And that's real close. Skipped basically at the base of the pin, just underneath it. Sloping upward green for the players. Brown still has another 30 feet or so before he'll discover. And he's there in an ivy-covered downed tree there. Very natural part of the ground cover here. Reading still inside Brown. This will be Brown's third shot. See the pin now delicately perched on that downslope. A lot of skippable surface up there too. Look out for trouble on the right. I've seen a couple of these roll down into a creek bed just behind and to the right of the pin. Don't forget our grand prize being given away during our walk to the 18th green. It's a brand new Innova disc catcher. Could be yours. Never too late to join. Become a lifetime member. So Brown's gone way deep and directly into the area that I just spoke to. Bit of an unraveling these last 2 shots for Brown. A little more talk than walk going on right now. Reading, remember he finished tight into the tangent. Leave him here in the blackberries. So we have Schultz now in the first cut rough on the left. 120 feet. Nicely done. You can really feel the tensions mount here, folks. I don't think our gentlemen are completely aware of their total scores just because of all the activity in and around the card. Got a fairly healthy group of cameras following, patrons, caddies, fans, friends. It's what it's like here at the World Championships. Shout out to Captain Snap Conger and Annette making the trip out from the East Coast. Great to see you. Also Cheryl Newland, wife of infamous forefather Doug Newland. Pioneer of flying disc sports in the Northwest. Reading, about 70 feet. It's literally the only option there. We're going to come up on Brown's Lie. He's got a wall of vegetation. If I had to measure it, it'd be 75 feet high, but it's not going to come into play. But it's solid, very thick, and not even going to be easy to get to. We're going to walk up to the top of the green here, following our cameras. It's actually going to be further in. So, Brown now from we're going to consider it about 20 feet of thicket to get through. Looks like he just pitched out. That even came in low left. Brown working hard to stay focused, keep the emotions out of play. It's all part of the pro walk. There's Climo now after that approach shot. Just have about 12 feet. This is for birdie. Whew. Believe it or not, it almost bounced back out, but card that as a birdie 4 for Climo. And Schultz for par. That third shot getting caught up in the bramble just didn't help. Reading as well for par. That
Eco Star Destroyer.
Disc golf. It's in the air.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're on the 18th tee. This is our final hole for today's feature group, our Men's Pro Masters top card. Ken Climo, Barry Schultz, Patrick Brown, and Jay Reading, putting on quite a display of today's course demands at Blue Lake. Day 3 of the PDGA World Disc Golf Championships, our focus of the Disc Golf Planet coverage. Ken Climo on the tee after the birdie on the 17. It's a 950-foot par 5, and he just basically laced it. There's a wide open area to tee, but a bit of a tight line on the left. There is out-of-bounds stakes on this, so not the forgiving rough that we just left on 17. Barry Schultz with par on 17. And a little wider approach there will ensure some safety. You really have to skip hard. You have to have a lot more height to skip left as far as you would. Yeti Reading. Nothing wrong with that. This pin, for those of you watching on Tuesday with our ladies, this pin has been moved back about 400 feet, just under 400 feet. So total distance of 18. Excuse me, about 175 foot pushback, but total distance here 600 feet. Par 4, our final hole. We're also ready to give away our grand prize of today's broadcast. Wanted to give this to you personally, disc golf fans, from Crazy John to you. Our next winner, today's grand prize, a brand new Innova disc catcher. Congratulations to Josh Skiffington, Planet family member number 1541. Josh, you just won a brand new Innova disc catcher right here on Disc Golf Planet. Thank you for being a family lifetime member. Houston, Texas, the home of our latest winner, Josh Skiffington. What a great way to increase your skills to just by being a member of Disc Golf Planet family. 25 bucks and you get yourself a $500 prize. Congrats. And to all of our winners today. Stick around, we'll have a chance to speak with our players after the round is completed. Be interesting to see what our comments can yield. Right now we're behind Patrick Brown. Tee shot caught a little bit of this tree to his right, that Catalpa. And he'll be quick to shoot. Dropping down the dart. And right under the pin. So literally a candy store tap in for birdie for Brown. Great finish to his round. Reading, bit of an obstruction here, but it does help to designate the route. Undoubtedly need to contemplate that out of bounds on the right. It's for about 260. Oh boy, that's tough. It's got to get some wind underneath it because that green bellows out. Going to find out shortly, but there is a benefit. The window of benefit there is the green balloons out a great deal, maybe to about 35 feet. Kenny and Barry literally within arm's reach of each other on their lies, something we've seen plenty of over the years. Climo to shoot first. Seems like a skunk had a bike wreck or something in the neighborhood. Kenny coming out, just a very basic mid-range approach right at it. Barry, difficult to shoot last on the final hole for the approach. Be surprised how tight this card is, folks. Barry Schultz, multiple-time world and U.S. DGC champion. And a laser line right at the pin. Again, I can't give enough credit to some of the statistics that Schultz and Climo carry with them without even saying a word. How about the number 650? That's their combined career winnings, earnings, $650,000 for these two gents. Sure, they got a couple tough sheds full of trophies out back. So we were finding that the Reading second shot is out of bounds. So just a couple of feet here. Okay, so Reading has decided on his mark. He'll take the meter perpendicular. Be shooting 4 now. This is the par 4, number 18. Never too late to be great, so 85 feet for Reading for par. Little breeze left to right. Oh boy, maybe a foot to the right off, and that's it. Great effort. He'll have to card that final hole bogey though. Approaching Climo's second shot. He'll shoot first. Nothing easy here to close out the round from 14 feet. Check that, 16 feet. Climo. And he lobs it right into the chest plate. Good close for Climo to birdie 18. Schultz as well. Patrick Brown will shoot last. That was an intense approach shot right on target. Jay Reading as well will card that 5. Patrick Brown in some classic style will close out his round. Just a moment. We're going to take a short break right now, folks, as we collapse towards the group to mount and find their scores and sign and everything. And what we'll do is we'll come right back, see if we can get a word with our top masters. You're watching the World Championships live right here on the planet.
Disc golf. It's in the air. Join the excitement at PDGA.com.
Eco Star Destroyer.
TheSpeedTV.com.